and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, here with your readings for November the 11th through November the 17th. If you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you'll come back. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty and your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, and for all the new subscribers too. Now, these are general readings, guys. They are for the collective. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. They come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this, the astrological report, and then the tarot reading. And there are timestamps below in the show more section. If you have a phone, it's a little arrow pointing down, click on that and all the information is in there. It's also for your sun, moon and rising, so you will find the links to the other videos in that section too. So listen, as I said before, it's for the collective, these readings. So if you would like a more tailored, in-depth, personalized reading, please click on this link here, which will take you to my website and you can look at the kind of readings that I offer. What else? Yes, I have a Facebook group, guys, and that Facebook group, it's a private group. You have to ask to be to get in, to be included, and that link is below too. Now, in that Facebook group, it's a really positive environment. People post positive things, and then every 2 weeks I do a live feed specifically for my Facebook group, and in that it correlates every 2 weeks. It correlates with the new moon and the full moon, and we look at how anybody who attends the live feed, we look at their horoscope and how they're receiving the energies from the new moon or the full moon respectively. And I also have tarot cards on hand and I answer questions. We hang out for about an hour and we really enjoy ourselves. So if you would like that, this link to that will be below also, so check that out. And another way to support this channel and my creative content is through Patreon. So you can click on that just to check out my Patreon page. I do post things on Patreon that I don't post anywhere else. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank my patrons. Thank you so much. You really help me out. So I really appreciate you. Now, what else? Yes, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology section of your reading for November the 11th through November the 17th. And wow, that's all I can say. Listen, the full moon in Taurus on Tuesday is only the tip of the iceberg. We have all this dynamic celestial sky this week. Some really wonderful aspects are happening this week. Now, I'll start with some of the exact aspects and when they're happening, and then I'll go on to what's going on with the full moon. So Monday, November the 11th, the sun is conjunct Mercury. That means it's right next to Mercury, right? Very close. Tuesday, we have the full moon in Taurus, and we have Mars sextile Jupiter. That's a beautiful harmonious aspect going on there. Wednesday the 13th, we have Mercury trine Neptune. That's also a lovely harmonious connection between the two planets. And Thursday, November the 14th, Venus is square Neptune. That is a challenging aspect. We also have other energies and aspects that are moving into place or moving out of place. So they all play a role actually in the celestial sky. So let's start with the full moon in Taurus, shall we? The full moon, as most of you know, is when the moon is opposite the sun, and it's actually the sun's reflection that illuminates the moon. So with the moon in Taurus, and that means with the moon in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio because they're opposite each other on the wheel, right, in the chart. The moon is exalted in Taurus, which means that it can express itself fully. So the moon is nurturing, magnetic, feminine. And in Taurus, the moon is good-natured, generous, and loyal. There's a tendency for being emotionally connected to one's values and material possessions, and a strong need for security, right? Material security. At the same time as this full moon, the moon is in a harmonious aspect to Pluto. Now, this creates an energy of sensitivity and intense emotional feelings. It's a being absorbed with interpersonal relationships, of being coveted over one's emotions and feelings. We want to kind of hide that. We don't want that out in the open. At the same time, I am displaying the chart of the full moon, so maybe you can follow along with some of the things that I'm saying, and you can get a picture of what's going on too. For those of you who understand charts. Now, so it brings in intuition and psychic ability. The moon's relationship with Pluto, and it can give you a strong look. It's being able to read people and recognize inauthenticity. We can see through people. We know when someone's not being authentic. And it can give you a strong will and focus to accomplish goals with which to manifest your dreams. This is like a dream creating full moon, right? We can create our dreams. We can manifest our dreams. We can make them real. It can also bring up control issues. So we need to be mindful of the urge to control situations and or people. It can be expressed through us being a bit bossy, perhaps, during this transit. It is also worth mentioning that the moon at the same time is kind of in a loose, harmonious aspect with Neptune, which further enhances our psychic and intuitive abilities. It can also give us a really deep appreciation for music, art, and nature. We also need to be mindful not to sacrifice ourselves for others, and keep a firm grip on reality, because Neptune can skew our perceptions of what's really going on. However, Saturn is connecting harmoniously to Neptune and to the moon, so there is some structure and discipline to bring ideas into tangible creations. So we just want to make sure that we're not compromising ourselves for others. And if we focus on our creativity, we can really bring things to life. Now, the sun in Scorpio is right next to Mercury, which brings in creative thinking and energetic communication with a bigger picture view. So because Mercury is still in retrograde, there can be some misunderstandings, but they can easily be rectified because of all these positive, wonderful aspects that are going on. Now, the Sun and Mercury have also have a harmonious connection to Pluto and Saturn, somewhat to a bit lesser of a degree, which brings in the need to be recognized for one's accomplishments, for being in the spotlight. And the concentration is on speech and communications, yet again. So this sets the stage for shrewdness in business and negotiations. Now, that's a wonderful aspect. And then listen, that's not all. The Sun and Mercury are also harmoniously connected to Neptune, bringing in creative and visionary talents. So it's amazing for literary accomplishments, particularly writing, fantasy, poetry, or even in the visual arts. Any creative project will, take off and will really work. So now also, I'm finished yet, guys. Mars is sextile Jupiter. Now, this is a wonderful, confident energy, abundant energy. It's like we're energized, right? Feeling really excited and confident about ourselves and really good luck in materialism with a penchant for higher learning or spiritual studies in alignment, perhaps. And long distance travel is also on the table with this aspect. Perhaps you're going on a long trip or you're planning one. You may be contemplating a spiritual retreat even in a remote location. So an optimistic nature with a love of freedom and independence is the underlying beautiful energy of that aspect. Now, then on Thursday, we move into Venus square Neptune, but all these aspects are kind of happening all week simultaneously, right? So it's kind of a big mishmash. You have to kind of choose you have the power to choose your energy and how you want to direct it. Now, Venus is square Neptune, and that's a challenging aspect. It brings in issues of self-esteem, confidence, and insecurities. So if you have a poor self-image during this transit, you may have a distorted view of your partner or your date if it's a new, or your acquaintance if it's a new relationship. You may see relationships in an odd way. Perhaps you have an idealistic romantic storybook vision of relationships, which can lead you to ignore red flags when you meet someone new. You could get taken advantage of, become a doormat in a relationship. If the relationship is rocky already, if it's on firm ground, I think you'll be able to move through this aspect pretty unscathed. But if it's new and it's a bit rocky, then, you could kind of, become the doormat, or worse, allow inappropriate behavior in some way. It's important to practice acceptance and the love of oneself during this time, and I would look at this aspect also creates a heightened need for love and affection. So I would resist the urge to commit or to trust someone until after this transit. Focus instead on building self-esteem and self-respect and confidence. All right, guys. So I told you that's like major this week, right? So without further ado, let's go to your tarot reading, shall we? Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your reading, or the tarot card section of your reading for November the 11th through November the 17th. And what wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Scorpio for this coming week? May these cards be filled with love, abundance, and hope. 3 cards for Scorpio, please. 1, 2 more, 2. 1 more card for Scorpio, please. 1 more card for Scorpio. Oh, there it is. I love that. Okay, here we go. There's crossover here, guys. You might want to check out your sun, moon, and rising if you know them. Okay, these are clarifying cards for Scorpio. Wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Scorpio for this coming week? May these cards be filled, these clarifying cards be filled with love, abundance, and hope. Okay. Please clarify. That's it. Oh, okay. Please clarify. There we go. And please clarify. There we are. Very interesting. There's definitely crossover here, guys. Take a look at your cards. Okay, the first card out for you is the Five of Cups, clarified by the Nine of Wands. Then you have the Three of Swords, clarified by the Hanged Man. And then you have the Seven of Cups, clarified by the Four of Cups. Okay, do that. Okay, Scorpio. Oh, happy birthday to all you late Scorpions out there. Happy birthday to Nicole Breyer. Happy birthday, darling. The first card out for you guys is the Five of Cups. Look, the Five of Cups is when you're looking at your cup half empty as opposed to half full. It's about being disappointed in how something has turned out. It's something that's gone. It's something you can't kind of have, but you are, you know, I don't want to say obsessed about it, but you are really focusing on it. Whatever it is that's going on for you, Scorpio, you are taken up in your head with it. And, it's almost like you're ignoring what you have and you're focused on what you don't have. And that is pointless because it's not, it's gone. You can't get it back. So it's about letting it go and moving on and focusing on what you have. And you have the Nine of Wands clarifying it. And the Nine of Wands is like, you're tired. You want to give up. You're like so disappointed in how things have turned out. And it's like, this is like, this one's, he's dog-eared. He's been in the battle it's like he's tired of protecting what is his. It's like very exhausting. You're protecting what's rightfully yours, and it's exhausting. You want to give up. You're like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore. I just can't deal with this anymore. Well, when the Nine of Wands comes up, it's saying, don't give up right now. You're nearly at the finish line. That's 9. You've got to get to 10, right? Yes, take a little respite and lick your wounds, rejuvenate, and come back in with vigor and intensity yet again. You may have lost a battle, but you're going to win the war. That's maybe what you're thinking of, something that you've been fighting for. You kind of, getting tired of being knocked down and feeling defeated, right? But you've got all these lovely ones here that are sprouting. Yes, they're worth protecting. They're worth standing up for. They're worth fighting for. You just need to kind of take a little break and then get back in there. And I feel that you've got the Three of Swords is, pain. Well, it's iconic. 3 swords piercing a heart. It's beautiful, actually, picture, This is like a deep pain. What I'm feeling for this, it's Neptune square Venus or Venus square Neptune. And this, because you've got the Hanging Man clarifying it. So this is about feeling self-conscious, probably maybe you could even, it's possible that you have a bad self-image or body image or something that's kind of making you sacrifice yourself for this in your relationship. You're giving over your power. It's almost like you're the doormat, right? You become the doormat, or, you can become the sexual slave kind of thing. It can be that. Now, look, this pain was installed when you were young. It's what I always bring Eckhart Tolle up when it's the New Earth Awakening. It's like the pain body, right? We recreate the pain body. We recreate the situations of what the pain body felt. And so we get into scenarios that we feel this pain because the pain body wants to be alive and it wants to feel alive, and so it needs to feel this pain, right? But it's important when this comes up, it's like, feel it and then move on. And you've got the Hangman, you've got a moment here. He's hanging from the tree of life. He's sacrificing himself. That's why I feel that you're sacrificing yourself in a relationship in some way. And you need to find your power. You need to be empowered. In order to do that, you've got to see this from a different perspective. You've got to see where this was installed. You've got to connect the dots. You've got to move on from this pain. Look, it's not like you'll never feel the pain again. You know, that comes up, but it's never as intense as it has been. In fact, avoiding dealing with this pain is what brings this pain up again and again and again. You know, let's put that pain body to rest. Right? Let's get some awareness. Let's get some, connect those dots, those epiphanies. Oh, wow. Yes, that's where this is coming from. That's why I'm sacrificing myself in these relationships. That's why I'm allowing people to treat me like a doormat and to treat me like what I think or what this makes me think I deserve, right? But you don't. You deserve so much better. Deal with this. And then you can move on. And look, you have the 7 of Cups. Now, the 7 of Cups is some kind of confusion as to not knowing which direction to go in. You have all these options. You have all these, what do I want to say? You have all these opportunities. Now, in some decks, there's some not so great things in these cups. This looks really good, but there is a little shadow in the background. So there's some kind of, it's important to make the right choice here, or choices to move forward. The problem is, right, is that you have the 4 of Cups clarifying this. And this is about missing opportunities. This is about being in your head and being disappointed about how something has turned out and so focused on the problem that you are not out here looking at all the opportunities that are on your lap, on your doorstep, right in front of you. But you're not seeing them because you are taken up in your head about, look, cross, blocked, like this hasn't worked out. No. It's that internal thing. I'm tired of it. And this is like, oh, I can't have that. Or, crying over spilled milk. This is like, come down, look at the situation logically and rationally and see those opportunities for what they are. Make that choice, darling. Choose something that's going to enhance your life and make things better for you. There's very little that you can't, that's negative here. There's just a little shadow right here, right, in the background here. So you just have to be careful of that little. Don't be afraid of the shadows, don't be afraid of the shadows. We all have a shadow side. I really feel that you have the gift of, well, everyone does. And, you're Scorpio, darling. You've got Pluto ruling. You've got that intuition. You've got that psychic ability. You can see through people. You can see inauthenticity. You're going to know what to choose, but you need to come out of your head in order to do that. And you need to be looking for the opportunities in order to see them, Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social media. Help me get over that 10K. I'm almost there, guys. Push me over the edge. Get people to subscribe. Comment. That also helps me be seen, and it helps the channel grow. And I'll always respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.